The galaxy had known war for thousands of years. From the burning skies of Crater V to the frozen trenches of Zelthar Moon, every race had fought and bled. The Union of Stars was created to bring peace, but peace was always temporary. Every few decades, another war started over land, over power, over fear. The galaxy was tired of war, but it had never seen a war like the one that was coming. It began with a signal, strange, unknown. It came from a small blue planet in the corner of a quiet system. The planet was called Earth. The signal wasn't loud, but it wasn't encrypted. Either it was open, clear, and it carried one simple message: we are ready. The Union patrol ship Nalcor picked it up. Captain Varel, a calm and experienced Alari, stared at the screen. The signal had no code, no diplomatic flag, no warning, just a voice, like a human voice. Where did this come from? Sector, Milky Way region, Sol system, planet Earth, replied her officer. No known contact with that species, she muttered. Send a scout. The scout ship moved fast. When it reached Earth's orbit, it found an old-style metal ship, waiting. It looked weak, slow, and badly designed. It didn't respond to greetings, it didn't activate shields, but it didn't run either. The aliens waited for surrender. Instead, the human ship fired first. A railgun, primitive but strong, shot straight into the scout ship's engine. The humans didn't speak. They just kept firing. Alarms screamed on the Nalcor. Captain Varel was shocked. They attacked without warning, she said. Why do they want to die? Another officer yelled. There's something else there, broadcasting again. Everyone listened. The human voice came through once. More, you fired first, the alien translator said, trying to correct the message. No, the human voice repeated. You arrived, you responded. Then came the last part of the message, simple but terrifying. We're coming. The human ship exploded a few moments later. Not from damage, but on purpose. It had no escape pods, no retreat system. The crew had chosen to fight and die. Captain Varel had never seen anything like it. No one had. Across the galaxy, the signal was shared and studied. The message confused diplomats. It excited generals. But one group became very afraid: the Threx Dominion, a species that ruled with fear and domination. They had conquered dozens of systems. When they heard the message, they did not laugh. They prepared their armies. What are humans? Asked a young Threx officer. The answer came from the High Lord himself, something we are not ready for. A week later, 3 human ships entered neutral space. They didn't cloak. They didn't hide. They flew in a straight line, slow but steady. An alien fleet 10 times larger blocked their path. You are outnumbered, the alien commander warned. A human voice answered calmly. We know, then turn back. No. Why not? Because you haven't seen war. Not human war. Out. Without warning, the human ships opened fire. Not with lasers or energy weapons, but with old-style kinetic weapons. Bullets, missiles, EMP blasts. The alien fleet was stunned. Shields were useless against these simple attacks. The ships were damaged. But worse was the fear. The humans weren't trying to survive. They were trying to win. They didn't care if they died doing it. One alien ship retreated. Then another. Panic spread. The humans kept moving forward. Not fast, not strong, but never stopping. On a distant planet, an old alien historian watched the battle replay. She had lived through 6 wars. She had seen horrors. But this was new. They don't fight like us, she said. They don't follow logic. They follow something else. What is it? Her student asked. She whispered the word, rage. Back on the Union capital world, the council met in fear. The humans were not advanced. They were not many, but they were dangerous. One council member asked the question everyone feared: how? Do you stop an enemy that doesn't care about dying? No one had an answer. Somewhere in deep space, more human ships were launching. Soldiers were training. But they weren't nervous. They were smiling. A young human looked out of the window at the stars. They have no idea what's coming, he said to his squad. His commander nodded. They think they've seen war. He smiled. Let's show them what war really means. The stars, silent and cold, watched as humanity marched into the galaxy not to join it, but to change it forever. The galaxy had rules. When a new species was discovered, there were steps. First a greeting, then a translator, then peaceful talks. War was always the last option.
Hey!
But with humans, things did not go that way. After the destruction of the scout ship, the Union of Stars sent diplomats, fast, clean, and calm. Their ship entered Earth's orbit with a gift message. They brought food, tech, and a guide to peace. They expected thanks. Instead, they got silence. Earth did not reply. No message, no voice. The alien diplomat, a tall and thin Solari named Kel, stood in front of the screen. Are they ignoring us? Maybe they don't understand, his assistant replied. The translator AI had trouble. Human signals were messy, mixed languages, strange words. But finally, a reply came. The screen turned on. Human sat in a chair, looking bored. He wore old battle armor and drank something dark. His voice was clear. You don't speak to Earth, he said. You speak to me. Who are you? Kellen asked politely. Captain Mason. Earth Response Force. Kellen smiled. We come in peace. Mason raised an eyebrow. That's a lie. Kellen blinked, confused. No, it's not. Mason leaned forward. You sent ships. You blocked. Our space, that's not peace. It's control. And we don't like control. Kellen tried to explain. We only wanted to protect the galaxy. Mason laughed. A slow, dangerous laugh. You think we need protection? The call ended. Back on the Union ship, the translator AI blinked. Species does not fear war. It welcomes it. Kellen didn't believe it. He thought it was a mistake. So he sent another message, this time to a human base on Mars. The reply came fast. We don't talk, the message said. We act. Within minutes, a small human squad landed on the nearest Union outpost. No permission, no warning, just boots on the ground. The aliens panicked, but the humans didn't attack. They walked through the base, scanning everything. Saying nothing, one alien soldier tried to stop them. You can't be here, a human turned. We are here. That's enough. Then they left. The message was clear. Humans didn't ask for permission. A week later, war broke out on a planet called Yalara. Not between humans and aliens, but between two alien factions. The Union sent forces to keep peace. The humans arrived. Two. This time, they didn't land on a base. They dropped straight into battle. Aliens used advanced shields and energy beams. Humans wore simple armor and fired bullets, but they didn't hide. Ran into fire. They yelled. They laughed. Didn't retreat. Alien commanders watched in horror. They're crazy, one said. They're not fighting to live. They're fighting to win. The humans took heavy hits, but they kept moving. One soldier shot through the leg, used his own blood to draw a plan on the ground. Then he kept fighting. An alien medic tried. To help him, you'll die. The soldier grinned. Later, back at Union Command, reports came in. Human tactics are suicidal. Human weapons are old, but effective. Human morale is too high. A scientist studied recordings. They don't break ranks. They don't run. It's like they enjoy the fight. A whisper began to spread in the galaxy. Humans were not just a new species, they were a new type of enemy. One who didn't fear pain. One who didn't follow the rules. The Threx Dominion, the most feared warlords in the galaxy, watched closely. Their leader, Lord Skarn, watched the battle footage. They don't fight to defend, he said. They fight to dominate. We destroy them now? Asked his general. Skarn shook his head. Too late for that. Now we have to survive them. Elsewhere, an alien spy captured a human pilot. The pilot had been shot down, but survived the crash. He was tied to a chair, blood on his face. The alien interrogator asked, "Why do your people not fear death?" The pilot laughed. "We all die. Might as well make it interesting." The alien stepped back. "You're insane," the humans. Eyes burned with a calm fire. "No, we're focused." He leaned forward. "This isn't war for us," he said. "This is Tuesday." The message spread fast. Humans didn't fight like soldiers. They fought like storms. On a small alien world, a child looked up at the stars. "Are the humans monsters?" she asked. Her father shook his head. "No. Monsters hide in the dark. Humans walk right into the light. Dare you to stop them." The deep sky, where human ships left Earth, quiet, steady, armed and ready. The galaxy had made first contact, but it had done it the wrong way. And now, the real war was about to begin. The galaxy was watching. Every planet, every system, every leader focused on one thing: humans. They were not many. Their weapons were old, their ships were not fast, but something was wrong. Something was strange. Every time humans entered a battle, they did not just survive. They won. On the planet Draxus 4, the Threx Dominion sent a full army, tanks, drones, airships. It was a test. The humans had only 20 soldiers. Threx had over 2,000. The Threx commander laughed. "They are small, weak. They will break." But when the battle began, it was the Threx who broke. The humans didn't stay back. They rushed forward. They fired without fear. One of them ran straight into a tank with just a backpack and a smile. He threw a grenade, destroyed the tank, and kept running. The Threx soldiers panicked. They don't stop. They don't hide. In less than 2 hours, the humans had taken the base. No one could explain it. The Union of Stars sent their best scientists to study the battlefield. They expected to find advanced tech, but they found something else. Human bodies, full of cuts and burns, still standing, still moving. A report came in. Human pain response is lower than normal species. Healing is faster. Nerve control is stronger. Their weapon, adaptability. Another world, a small team of humans was cornered inside a cave. No escape. The alien soldiers outside had lasers and drones. The humans had only knives and one broken radio. A scientist watching the feed said, "They're finished." But the humans started a fire. They covered themselves in heat and smoke. Then they ran out of the cave screaming. Loud, wild. The aliens froze in fear. The humans stabbed them, took their weapons, used their own tech against them. One alien survivor said later they became animals. Not soldiers. Animals that learned how to kill with anything. The Union Council held an emergency meeting. Panic was rising. Humans were not fighting like anyone had seen before. They were evolving in battle. Every time they lost something, they learned how to win without it. A nervous council member asked, "What do they want?" A silent pause. Then the reply came. Everything. On the planet Griven's Edge, humans built a forward camp. The local aliens tried to talk to them, to make peace. But the humans didn't answer. They were busy digging, training, testing, weapons, preparing. One alien approached a human officer. "We don't want war," the alien said. The human looked up with tired eyes. "Neither do we," he said. "But we finish what we start." The alien frowned. "And what did you start?" The human simply replied, "A lesson." Back in space, a Union fleet spotted a small human ship alone near a gas moon. They surrounded it. 10 warships.
No way.
To escape, the captain opened a channel. "Surrender." The human on screen was calm. "You think you've won? You are outnumbered," the alien said. The human smiled. Again. Behind the gas moon, 15 more human ships appeared, hidden, quiet, waiting. Within seconds, they fired all at once. The Union fleet was gone. A message was sent to all known systems. Never count us out. Never think it's over. Because we don't stop. The Threx High Lord slammed his fist on the table. "We have stronger weapons. Why do we keep losing?" His advisor whispered. They are not fighting with weapons. Then what? The Lord shouted. The advisor looked down with their minds, their hearts, their hate. The Union tried one last thing, a virus made to confuse human systems. It worked on hundreds of species before. They sent it to a human-based computer. The virus lasted 6 minutes. Then the humans sent it back twice as strong. Did they improve it? A Union tech asked. Yes, the AI replied. In 5 minutes. What kind of minds do they have? Fast, hungry, dangerous. Old alien teacher watched the news from his home. His students gathered around. Is it true? One asked. They can't be stopped. The teacher nodded slowly. They can be stopped, not by power, not by tech. Then how? The teacher closed his eyes, maybe only by themselves. Far away, on Earth, new ships were being built, new soldiers trained. Not for defense, not for protection, but for invasion. One of the new human generals looked at a map of the galaxy. This is not about enemies, he said. It's about proving a point. What point? Someone asked. He smiled coldly. That no one fights like us. That no one survives like us. That no one wins like us. The stars burned on. The galaxy was changing, and nothing could stop it now. The war was no longer just battles and ships. It had become something darker, something deeper. Whispers, fear. The kind of fear that spreads without proof. The kind of fear that grows in silence. The galaxy had many dangerous species. The Threx crushed enemies with power. The Varn used mind weapons. The Zelith erased planets with sound. But none of them scared people the way humans did. Because humans didn't just win. They changed the battlefield. They changed the rules. On the planet Delmore Prime, a Threx commander sat alone in his war room. His army was the best in the sector. He had trained for 40 years. His walls were covered in trophies from victories. But that night he couldn't sleep. Something wrong, Commander? His aide asked. The commander looked at the stars. They are close now. I can feel it. Who? Commander whispered, the humans. Later that night, an alarm rang. A sensor on the outer fence had triggered. But when the guards checked, there was nothing. No ships, no movement. Just wind. Still, the commander gave the order. Seal the base. 30 minutes later, explosions hit the east wall. Small ones. Strange ones. Not from missiles or airstrikes, but from inside the base. The guards turned on each other, confused, afraid. Then they heard it laughter. Human laughter. From the shadows, 10 human soldiers stepped out. Only 10. The Threx had 500, but the humans didn't hide. They didn't run. They moved fast, sharp like shadows with teeth. They used fire, smoke, old tricks, loud music. And worst of all, they smiled. One Threx soldier screamed into the radio. They are not normal. They enjoy it. They enjoy the fight. The humans took the base in 1 hour. Not because of power, because of fear. The news spread fast. A species that once ruled this part of the galaxy now sat in silence. The Threx dominion stopped expanding. They pulled back. They closed their borders. They didn't say it out loud, but the truth was clear. They were scared. On another world, a young alien soldier was given orders to fight the humans. He refused. Why? His captain shouted. They fight like they want to die, he said. But they don't. Alien leaders tried to calm their people. They said humans could be reasoned with, that humans could be stopped. But every message sent to Earth came back with the same reply: we don't want peace. We want respect. On the moon city of Urex, a famous alien general gave a speech. He said the humans were nothing special. That fear was just a feeling. He was attacked that same night, not by a weapon, by a story. A message was painted on his wall in human writing. Fear has a name now. It's us. The general resigned the next day. In the Union of Stars HQ, the council demanded answers. Why are humans so dangerous? One asked. A war scientist replied with shaking hands, because they are not here to survive. They are here to challenge everything. How? By being something we are not. By turning war into an art. One council member stood up. Then let's destroy them now. The room fell silent. Everyone had the same thought. What if we try ... and fail? What if we can't destroy them? On the battlefield of Korra's 9, an alien squad surrendered before the first shot. Ash! They raised their hands, dropped their weapons. The human commander looked confused. You don't want to fight? The alien replied, No. We've seen the footage. We know how it ends. The human nodded. Smart. He walked away without saying more. That scared them even more. A captured alien scientist once asked his human guard, Why don't you feel fear? The guard laughed. Oh, we feel it. We just use it. Use it to go faster, to fight harder, to become more. In a far space station, a Union diplomat met with a human officer to ask for peace. The officer listened quietly. Then he said something strange. We don't want peace until they remember what fear feels like. Who is they? The diplomat asked. The human stood up, his eyes cold. Everyone. Back on Earth, new recruits were training. Young, bold, not afraid. One trainer shouted, What are you afraid of? The recruit yelled back, Nothing, sir. Why not? 'Cause they're afraid of us, sir. The trainer smiled. Good. Answer. In the quiet corners of the galaxy, some species began hiding. Others began praying. And some began building weapons they hoped could stop what was coming. But deep inside, they all knew one thing. They were not fighting a species anymore. They were facing something new, something terrifying, something human. In the cold dark of space, a single ship floated, damaged, burning. Silent, it was Alianthrax, built for war. But inside, there were no soldiers. Only survivors, wounded, afraid. A human patrol ship found it first. The humans scanned the wreck. It was easy to destroy. No shields, no weapons left. Just one press of a button and it would be gone. The human captain stood in silence. Orders, sir, second in command asked. The captain looked at the screen. He saw injured beings. He saw fear. He saw no threat. He gave the order, spare them. Send medical bots. The bots entered the alien ship, healed the wounds, gave food, gave water. The Threx were confused. One of them asked, Why help us? A human voice replied through the bot, Because we can. The ship was allowed. To leave, that was the mistake. 3 weeks later, that same Threx survivor stood before the Union of Stars Council, spoke of the humans, of the mercy. Of the moment, they could have ended us, he said, but they didn't. That means they are not ready for true war. They still feel guilt. That is their weakness. The council listened. The fear that once ruled them, ... shifted. Maybe humans weren't gods. Maybe they still had soft hearts. Maybe they could be broken. The Union started testing small attacks. They hit human supply lines, shot down drones, kidnapped. Scouts at first, the humans did not respond. The galaxy watched closely. Are they getting tired? Some asked. Have they changed? Well, they forgive again, and a Union fleet destroyed a human science station near the Black Star of Varan 6. No soldiers inside. Only engineers, doctors, civilians, all dead. That was the second mistake. The reply came. 72 hours later, 12 human warships entered Union space. No message. No warning. They didn't attack military bases. They hit fuel lines, shipyards, command centers. They cut the power to 5 planets in one night, and they left a message behind. Short, clear, we gave you mercy. You gave us war. Now we won't stop. Panic returned, stronger, deeper, because now the humans weren't just fighting to win. They were fighting because they believed they had been betrayed. On a cold desert world, a captured alien commander was dragged in front of a human general. The alien begged, We were weak. We were afraid. We only wanted to survive. The general's voice was quiet. So did we. But he made us remember something. What? The general's eyes narrowed. That mercy is not kindness. It's a warning, and you ignored it. The alien was never seen again. Back at Union headquarters, a scientist showed new data. Human behavior has changed. Their patience is gone. What does that mean? The diplomat asked. It means the real war is starting now. Across the galaxy, new human divisions were forming. No diplomats, no medics, only black-armored soldiers trained to destroy. Their name, the Black Veil. They had one rule: no survivors. Their ships had no lights, no names, just silence and fire. Alien mothers told their children stories, not of monsters, but of humans. If you see them, they whispered, don't run. It won't help. On one captured world, an alien soldier tried to surrender. He dropped his weapon, raised his hands, cried out mercy. A Black Veil soldier walked up to him, looked into his eyes. You used that word wrong, then fired. Even the Threks, once proud and fearless, began fleeing from their own borders. They had pushed the humans too far, in a deep space station. Two alien leaders argued, we must talk to Earth. One shouted, ask for peace again. They won't listen, the other said. Not anymore. Then what do we do? There was no answer. On Earth, in a quiet room, the same human captain who once spared the Threk ship stood in front of a screen. He rewatched the old footage, the moment he gave mercy. His hands were shaking, his eyes cold. A younger officer entered. Sir, you saved lives that day, the captain replied. No, I delayed justice. That was my mistake, he turned. Off the screen. Next time, no mercy. The stars outside flickered. The galaxy was learning a hard truth. Humans could be kind, but if you made them regret it, they would become something else, something unstoppable. And this time, they weren't just bringing war, they were bringing judgment. They had called Earth quiet, weak, far away, not worth fearing. But that was before the betrayals, before the broken mercy, before the killing of their doctors, their builders, their young. Now, Earth was awake, and Earth was angry in orbit around the blue planet. Thousands of ships waited, dark shapes, heavy with weapons. Their engines glowed red like blood under. Steel skin, across Earth, every nation, every tribe, every language had joined as one. Not because they wanted peace. Not anymore. They wanted payback, from deep cities under the oceans to the cold bases in the Arctic. Humans trained without rest. Their bodies became machines. Their minds sharpened like blades. Even children learned to fight. Not with fear, but with purpose. One message was played again and again on every screen on Earth. The galaxy wanted war. Now we bring it. In the stars, the Union Council watched Earth's rise with growing horror. They were scattered, one alien leader said. Now they're together. How is that possible? Another asked. So much history. A captured human scientist had answered that once. We fight each other, he said, smiling, until someone threatens all of us. Then we remember what we are. What are you? He had leaned forward and whispered, Earth, humans. Launched a wave of ships called the Hammer Line. Built fast, built strong, built for one job. Revenge. Each ship had no escape pods. Each crew knew. They go in. One Hammerline fleet entered the Volm system. A proud part of the Union, in 48 hours, the system was gone. No survivors, no buildings, just dust and quiet. The only thing left was a signal repeating on every channel. This was for the doctors on Varan 6. The galaxy began to tremble, because the humans were not just sending fleets, they were sending memories. On each burned world, they left symbols, names of Earth's fallen, each name a reason, each name a warning, in a hidden command base. A Union general shouted, we must end this now. Destroy their home planet, Earth. A tech replied, possible. No ship can get close. They've built a shield wall. An AI defense net. Even their moon is armed. Then we'll poison their stars. cut their supplies, lock their trade. The tech stared at the screen. They don't need our trade. They've built their own. They don't ask anymore. They take. In the center of the human fleet, a massive new ship moved forward. It was larger than any ship before it, shaped like a mountain, painted black, with one word written on its side in white, Earthrise. It was not just a ship. It was a message. Earth had not only joined the war, it was the war now. Inside Earthrise, General Mara Voss stood at a glass window. She had lost her brother in the first attack, her parents in the second, her city in the third. But her voice was calm. "This is not for revenge," she said to her officers. "This is to teach a lesson." What lesson? She turned around, her eyes cold like the stars. That no one touches Earth and walks away. Across the galaxy, humans moved like a waven, stoppable, unbroken. Every loss made them smarter. Every death made them faster. They didn't fear the dark anymore. They were the dark. On one planet, an alien elder stood before a group of children. He had once fought the humans long ago, showed them the scar on his arm. This, he said, was not from a laser, it was from a human knife. "Why did they use a knife?" the child asked. He looked down, because they ran out of everything else, but they kept fighting. In Union space, desperate leaders sent out a message, "Humans, please stop. We were wrong." The reply came through all frequencies at once. "We know." And still they came. One by one, alien systems shut down. Their beacons. They turned off lights. They erased maps. They thought if they hid, the humans might not find them. But humans didn't need lights to hunt. They only needed a reason, and the galaxy had given them many back on Earth. Children sat in classrooms. They didn't learn songs or games. They learned history. The teacher wrote one word on the board: respect. Then she turned to the class. "Can anyone tell me what this means?" A small boy raised his hand. "It means no one laughs at Earth anymore." The teacher smiled. "Good. And what happens if they do?" The class replied in one voice. "Earth rises." It had. The galaxy would never forget, because fear had a name, and now that name was Earth. The galaxy had never been quiet like this before. No wars. No speeches. No plans, just silence. Because everywhere, in every planet, in every command center, in every hiding place, everyone was watching Earth, not their armies, not their weapons, but their will. The humans had stopped asking for peace. They had stopped sending warnings. They didn't want anything now, except one thing: surrender. And the galaxy finally understood. It was not a request. It was the only way to survive. The Union Council met in secret. Far from their old capital, the old halls had been destroyed. The new ones were built underground deep, hidden, cold. "We cannot win," one leader whispered. "No," another agreed. "Oh, we fight machines that never sleep, soldiers that don't stop, minds that change tactics every second. They have no weakness." That was not true. The humans had one weakness: mercy, but the galaxy had already burned that bridge. Now they were facing something else. Not soldiers. Judgment. The last big alien fleet. Threx Pride stood between Earth and the Union's final defense world. Their biggest ships, their oldest warriors, their last hope. They never fired a single shot. When Earthrise appeared, black and silent, they opened all channels and surrendered. The Threx leader spoke to General Mara Voss with shaking hands. "We give up. All of us. Every ship. Every planet." Mara looked at him through the screen. "Why now?" He looked down. "Because we finally believe what others said." "What did they say? That humans do not fight to win?" She nodded. "We fight to end it." The Union sent a message across all frequencies, in every language, every dialect. "We surrender. Galaxy is yours. Please, no more." Message reached Earth. Across the planet, people stood still. In factories, workers dropped their tools. In bunkers, soldiers looked up from their weapons. In schools, children listened in silence. The war was over. They had won. But Earth didn't cheer. They didn't throw parades because it didn't feel like victory. It felt like a warning fulfilled in a grand hall on the moon. Now Earth's Galactic Command Center, leaders from all surviving species gathered. Human guards watched them silently. Not angry, not cruel, just present, just ... watching General Mara Voss entered. No medals, no crown, no smile. Only purpose. "You called this meeting?" she said. "Say what you came to say." An alien leader stood. "We are sorry. We were proud, blind, foolish. We thought Earth was small." "It was," Mara said. "But then you gave us a reason." Another alien stood. "Will you destroy us now?" Mara looked around. Every species in the galaxy now stood under Earth's shadow. They had seen war, but not like human war. They had seen strength, but not like human strength. They had seen fear, but not this fear. Mara spoke slowly. "We don't want to rule your worlds. We don't want your resources. We don't want your stars." She stepped forward. "We want one thing." Everyone waited. Respect. Silence. Then a voice from the back. An old alien shaking asked, "And if we forget?" Mara looked him in the eye. "You won't." Outside, in the void, human ships still floated, watching, waiting, not to attack, but to remind. The galaxy was now peaceful, not because of love, not because of treaties, but because of fear. Because of memory, because they had seen what Earth could become, and no one wanted to see it again. Back on Earth, a child asked his father, "Is it over?" The father nodded. "Yes." "Did we win?" The father looked at the stars. "No, we survived." The child was quiet. Then he asked one more question. "Will they come back one day?" The father smiled sadly. "If they do," he said, "they'll remember what happened last time." Above them, the sky was full of stars, and every star remembered, because now every world had one truth. The galaxy had known war, but it had never known human war. And now that it had ... it would never forget. The war was over. The galaxy had surrendered. The stars were quiet. No more fleets moved in anger. No more cities burned. But peace had a price, and Earth was paying it. Across the planet, people celebrated at first. They sang. They danced. Told stories of human power and courage, but not. Everyone smiled. Some stared at the sky, wondering what would happen next. They had fought so hard, lost so much, changed too deeply. Could they ever return to how they were before? General Mara Voss walked through a quiet garden in New Geneva, Earth's new capital. Trees grew tall. Birds sang. But her heart was heavy. A young officer approached. "Ma'am," he said, "the Galactic Peace Council is ready." She nodded. "And the others? They're waiting. Every species, every leader. All eyes are on Earth." Mara entered the hall. It was grandstone, glass, and stars above. Aliens from 100 worlds stood side by side, watching, waiting. She stood at the center. "We are not here to rule," she said. "We are not here to punish. We are here to rebuild." Some in the crowd looked hopeful. Others still feared her. A Threx ambassador raised his hand. "Do humans truly want peace?" Mara looked him in the eyes. "We want it, but we've learned not to trust it." "What does that mean?" asked another alien. "It means," Mara said slowly, "we will never sleep again. Our ships will stay. Our armies will train. We will teach our children the truth of what happened here." She turned to face them all. "Because peace is not a gift. It is a shield. Shields must be held." A silence followed. Then one voice said, "You sound like a conqueror." Mara didn't smile. "Only to those who break peace." Across the galaxy, humans began building what they called the Watch, space stations, listening posts, scouts. One in every system. They didn't ask permission. They simply built them, and the galaxy let them, because Earth had become more than a planet. It had become a warning back home. Many humans asked, "When do we rest?" But the leaders gave no answer. They knew rest was dangerous. Rest made people soft, blind, unprepared. So Earth changed. It stayed strong, always ready. It's a child born after the war. Asked her grandmother, "Why do we still train for?" "Battle." The old woman looked at the stars. "Because someday," she said, "they'll forget, and what will happen then will remind them." The child was quiet. "Is that who we are now?" The grandmother sighed. "No, it's who we had to become." Not all humans were proud of what they had done. Some had nightmares. Some left the military. Some left Earth entirely, but none of them denied the truth. If Earth had not risen, there would be no galaxy left to argue, no peace to protect, no future to build. On the edge of explored space, a new human ship watched a strange signal unknown, distant, from a place no one had mapped. The captain stared at the blinking light. "Could be another species," he said. "One that never heard of Earth." His second-in-command looked worried. "Should we tell them who we are?" The captain smiled, but not with joy. "No," he said. "Let them find out." The ship vanished into the dark. Back on Earth, a monument stood high in the clouds, a tower made of steel and stone. On its surface were carved the names of every human who had died in the war at the very top. One sentence was written in every known language: "We gave peace. You answered with war. We returned as Earth." The galaxy was quiet now, but Earth was not sleeping. Because somewhere, someday, someone would forget. And when they did, Earth would rise again.